Welcome to SerialPodcastNine.
You've done it before, so please stop apologizing for your audio.
I want to do it.
Oh,
Welcome to Serial
man.
Podcast 9, episode 43. This is Gerard, and I finally set up my microphone properly. So hopefully this sounds much better. And I really apologize for the last 15,000 episodes. That sounds like I'm in a fishbowl blender. Sea can.
Hi, and I'm Kevin.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is Serial Podcast
9.
Episode 41.
41. Episode Gerard figured out how to use a computer. Huh?
It's only since I got this computer. I never
Get
had a
outta
problem before. It always sounded good.
Hey, remember when I asked you for positive feedback yesterday and both of you said nothing?
We're busy, man.
I didn't really know what it meant.
Yeah, I didn't get
what's
it.
What's a compliment sandwich here?
Yeah,
You say a nice thing, and then you can say the mean thing, which is Gerard complaining about the audio and getting mad at us for it. And then you say another nice thing to round the... Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Just was saying, I don't mind constructive feedback, but maybe sometimes we should say nice things about the things that we do. Or not. I don't know. Who am I to say? Good.
Sam, it says, hey man, shifter's awesome. Shifts perfect every time. The only time it doesn't is when I blew my engine mount. Seriously, it shifts so good. No misses for third. Can't wait to get comfortable in this chassis again. He says, please make the SR bell housing MazWorks. He doesn't have nice things to say about MazWorks.
Oh, that's fine. I don't do things for MazWorks, so I can live with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to hear some wins some of the time.
That was a win.
That is a win. Good.
My mom moved into her place today. That's a win. And she's not completely fucking crying her eyes out.
Okay, well, that's a bit of a... These even sound like Gerard wins now. All right, good.
Oh, well, what's a win for you today?
Kevin, you got any wins for us?
I don't know, not really. I gotta work on my car. I gotta do some work on the Altezza.
Sounds like a bit of a win.
It's not really a win yet.
Which part?
When it's done, it'll be a win, you know?
What's wrong with it?
We're going drifting on Wednesday?
It doesn't break, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're going to need those damn brakes.
Yeah, so I got to figure that out.
All right. So your Dylan video went out today. Gerard, you tagged me in the post, and I had to explain that it wasn't me that made it. So it was like,
yeah, sorry. I just tagged you because it's like in my common come-ups, like when I do mention. And I thought, I'll send it to Ryan. He doesn't have to repost it if he doesn't want to.
Well,
thank you for doing so. I mean, not really.
Rude, not. Yes, it would.
I would understand.
Dude, I don't repost everything Gerard tags me in.
Yeah, Kevin's an asshole.
Well, see, there you go. So it is rude.
There you go.
Because you're my business partner and it's your company.
And here we are, not doing compliment sandwiches. I just wanted us to be positive for like a minute. All right.
What you drinking, Ryan?
It's a collaboration between Twin Sails and Great Notion Brewing. And so one is a peanut butter stout and the other one's a jelly stout. And then you mix them and you get peanut butter and jelly.
It looked dark.
It is very dark.
Is it sweet?
A little bit, yeah, because Great Notion tends to be on the sweeter side. Someone commented on one of our podcasts. It was like Great Notion Brewing rules or something like that, or like because like and the Glory Days one where I talked about it. All right, okay. I genuinely think it would be fun to do at some point. It's like Gerard drives people's cars and tells them what's wrong with them. Like to me. It was the most valuable experience was that you drove my car and you're like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And I'm like, oh shit. Cause like I was going to put this in the podcast, but maybe I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
To me, it was like, I look at a car as like one big picture. And then at that point, when we drove my car and you were doing it, I was like, oh, Gerard's looking at the paint strokes. I'm looking at like I'm like looking to step back and being like, I don't know if I really like this painting, but like it's an okay painting. But like Gerard's in there and he's like, well, this stroke's okay, but this stroke doesn't belong here. That was the wrong brush. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Like it's
but I feel like you're a rare breed, man. Like no people aren't gonna like listen. They're gonna be choked. You know what I mean? They're gonna be upset that you're criticizing some
I
of
think
their
if you know what
creation.
you're getting, I think if you know what you're getting into, I do think it's funny to me. I don't know what the conversion rate is, whatever it would be, but it's like, I think people that listen to the podcast would get it. And then I think like my Aristo videos hopefully are like, in my mind, closer to like what it's actually like hanging out with Gerard is what I think it is. It's like we were driving my car and he literally stopped and started like talking about a BMW for fucking 2 minutes instead of like anything. And that's going to go in the video because it's like he's like talking about like how the tires and wheels are different sizes and all this shit. And there's like, why are we
were
doing
talking
this?
about the X6M. That's crazy for an SUV. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. Anyway, so to me, that's what those videos are. It's like maybe I would like them to be a little bit more like what it's actually like hanging out with you two.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Closer to what the podcast is, because all right. I got 2 questions and then we can have an actual topic. Does that sound good? Or do you want to do it reverse? Do you want to have
I don't know. So I'll let you lead, Ryan.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. That's almost a compliment sandwich. Okay.
I feel like, dude, I texted you the other day that I loved you.
Yeah, that's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. That's a nice thing between
We're so
friends.
technical.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope so. You guys,
our compliment sandwich
words mean something, Gerard.
Words mean something. All right. So actually, I don't know if this is the first time, but you guys got an email and then you forwarded it to me.
I've never gotten an email about the podcast before,
which was great. And then it was from a guy. I only read the first name. I'm like, Kevin's just emailing SerialNine. And then I was like, oh, they put the last name there. So the last name. So it's Kevin Otero. I don't know. Not Kevin Peterson.
Hey, I got to tell you, I got to stop you right there. We should, out of the 40 episodes, well, I don't know how many episodes we say somebody's name. We got to take the bit where Ryan says the name.
Says every name?
Because he'll say the name and then he'll repeat some other pronunciation of the name and then
I don't know.
Fade out.
Sorry.
Like, sorry.
Right, man.
I don't know. I probably butchered that. Or then instead of just saying the name, it's like, it's Kevin Uceleb. Yeah.
I think,
I mean, that's probably how I'd be doing it too, but that would be a funny bit.
That
would be a very funny
you want
bit.
me to do that? I got to do that.
That'd be pretty funny.
I think it's because everyone always mispronounces my last name. So that's just how I was brought up.
Common one. Benoit?
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 Is Mr. Benoit there? No, Benoit is.
I mean, you know what's funny is I've never thought about pronouncing it that way, but that is how it's spelled.
Well, I
mean, like that'd be a pretty fucking stupid last name. I guess if you've never had any exposure to French at all, it is a Benoit.
That's true.
Sounds like a disease.
All right, we got a question. Let's do this. They emailed you. That's big time. I love that the podcast has spilled over into your everyday life. All right. Says, hey guys, live there podcast. I assume it means love the podcast. Really helps me get through the workday. I think it has inspired me to keep my plans for my current project, which is a manual swap in my Accord. And said, speaking of Accord, have you guys heard of the allegedly Honda K24 V8 block
is this
being
the
developed?
question?
Yeah. Have you heard of the V8 K24 Honda engine?
Yes.
By Craig Williams? What are your thoughts on it? And when you swap it into any of your cars? Go on.
I mean, I don't know much about it, but I mean, if it was a K series that was double in displacement and still had the same RPM capabilities, and so let's say like a fully tuned NA K series can make, 400 something horse. You double that. So an NA 800 horse K series, that's only 5 liters. Seems pretty cool to me. But in the same respects, I would just get a different V8 that you could already buy. So, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds pretty cool, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's you're literally reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to fully answer the question, I had not heard of it. And then I had to fucking Google it to figure out what it was. And then I started reading about it. And then it made some sense to me. And then it quickly got in like way over my head. And I was like, this is way too much for me. And I kind of feel the same as Gerard, where I was like, super cool that someone wants to do that. And they have all this spare time to like build the engine and design it and 3D print stuff. Is it practical? Would it be a thing in my life that I'd want? No, probably not. But I'm also not crazy about V8s. And so, I mean, I give it an A for effort, but an N for not for me. Anyway.
What about the Hayabusa V8?
That was also cool. I don't know what any of these cost either. So it's like, that's kind of a thing. I mean, I'm not like,
I feel like the Hayabusa V8 maybe like is slightly more appealing because it's smaller. So like, you know what I mean? Like,
I guess
at least, like, yeah, I feel like once you make the K series, it's a pretty big motor at that point,
Yeah. I've also just spent the entire day. I don't know if you put that earlier part in the podcast, but I've also spent the entire day driving around watching YouTube videos about all the AMG V8s. So I might be a little biased today.
Well then.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they're pretty crazy. Like, yeah, I didn't know the extent of the epicness, if you will.
Well, good. I'm glad you're on that. I think I totally cut out from the last episode you talking about AMG. So I was like, nope.
Fine.
Because you kept coming back to it. Can I turn this into a question? Okay. I'll try to if I don't answer it right, he'll be on my ass about it.
Who's this?
Eric.
Okay.
Eric essentially listened to one of the podcasts, and it was the one where Kevin's computer died, and then I was really drunk, and Gerard and I kept talking about how, like, did we think the scene would die out at a certain age, or would we persist as we got older? Who would like keep the scene going? Like, who, when you get older, who's responsible for doing that? What Eric is really trying to get at is, like, I think Eric misses the SerialNine block party, and he wants me to trick you guys into doing another SerialNine block party.
Yeah.
Now, would you ever do another SerialNine block party?
I mean, absolutely.
I would love to do one. I was just asked about that today.
Well, I think, okay, so, I mean, these are kind of like, not pipe dreams, but like, these are like little fantasies I have. The place where I'm trying to move our shop is kind of already a haven for, let's call it, hooliganism on the weekends. So I think a block party / burnout party could very well happen at a place like this. So I feel like if that were to happen, it'd be pretty cool to have a block party in said location. So
yeah, our current location's like not the best at the moment, though.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's kind of the thing, is like the current location for a block party, it's just everything's kind of gotten a little too, I don't even know what the word is.
Cactus clubby.
No, it's
like it's like literally the opposite. Like everything's gone like scungy.
Yeah, and it's super cluttered, and there's just like too many cars and too many other businesses that are kind of always there. Whereas like when we first moved in, you'd have 2 days of basically just like 1 or 2 people at the place. But now it seems like there's just always people all the time.
Yeah.
With like these so many vehicles. And yeah, so block party at our current location, probably not.
So your new location sounds like an opium den for Gerard if everyone can just do burnouts, because then he's getting his fix.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nothing's
his
legal.
mental health will be very good.
Yeah, through the peaks and valleys of it, though, is the come down will be the hard part.
Well, dude, you never come down, then you never feel that part.
Fair enough. All right. Here is the actual topic that I think we should talk about. We will tread lightly.
Oh, sick.
All right. What's happened?
Nothing. Just doing research. Keep talking.
All right. Jesus Christ.
You audibly exclaimed, bro.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Audibly exclaimed.
Oh, yeah. Well,
all right.
The
Go on.
The turbos on the M197 are Borg Warners. I thought that was kind of cool. Anyways, yeah.
This is life with Gerard.
Oh shit.
Topic that I thought we could talk about.
Okay.
Is kind of actually Blitzo 3s, because we haven't talked about them for a while.
Sakes, man.
Hear me out. This is your doing, Gerard.
Okay.
So if you ever get the gift of being Gerard's friend, at one point, just at like 12:30 in the morning, like you'll start getting messages about Blitzo 3s, and you're like, what's going on? And here's what I actually came to realize. At first, I just thought Gerard was being crazy about Blitzo 3s. I was like, oh man, he's just being Gerard about it. But in much things to do with Gerard about cars, I think I eventually come around to it. I'm like, oh, Gerard might actually be right about this. The reason why I think I didn't buy into it originally is because I realized that Gerard and I have very different Instagrams, and I don't follow the same people that he follows and see the same things that he sees. And he started sending me a bunch of just people going overboard with Blitzo 3s. Like it blew my mind. And I mean, like,
I literally just searched Blitzo 3 though.
Yeah.
That's just not on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. You really got it. You were just like, look at this and this and this. And I was like, Jesus. And
yeah, it was a lot.
This is going to sound really shitty, and I apologize in advance, or I don't know. A lot of the things Gerard was sending me weren't that nice. Like they weren't like nice cars. Like I looked at them and I wasn't like blown away by it, but it seemed very much this idea of like cookie cutter car building, like building your car. I guess people would say it for like Instagram, or building it based on what other people do. So we've touched on this before, and I think it alludes to a bigger thing. And we're dealing with like originality in the car scene in the same way that years ago Formula D produced like an actual formula for people to build their cars to. Do you guys feel as if the car scene right now of what we're kind of involved with has also provided people a formula to build their cars to? And what has that done to the car scene? I feel like you both zoned out. That's fine.
No, I'm thinking.
Kevin.
Yeah, I zoned out a bit. Yeah.
All right,
I was
Kevin,
unclear on the question.
Are we living in an era where like the 2003 like Japan fad has created a paint by numbers for style? Because when Gerard was pointing out Blitzo 3s to me and how overdone they are and how people are like paying a ton of money for them, you realize that there's a market for that's rising up. But then Gerard also pointed out that like if you actually look around what's going on in Japan now or in different parts of the world, people are progressing, and it just kind of seems like we're being stagnant, or there's a big portion of the car scene being very stagnant on its style and what it does. So like nobody's taking chances.
I mean, for me, this is essentially the same exact thing as the Chaser episode. Like, why can't people just be more passionate about? I don't even know how to describe it, man. Because what I was saying to Ryan when we were talking about this is like, if you look at any car show in Japan that's current, a lot of the cars will have, a large variety of wheels, and like, Work's always coming out with brand new wheels. Weds is always coming out with brand new wheels, and like nobody's buying those wheels here. Like maybe a few people, but like the people here are still trying to buy Blitzo 3, VSKF, like whatever it may be that was like that they see in like maybe you're right, the cookie cutter build or whatever, because they can't see that those wheels look cool. But like the reason why we or I and I'm sure other people look to Japan current car shows is because they will take the wheels that we won't even look at in the fucking work catalog, and they'll like have them on these cars or these vans, and they look nuts. And like, that's even beyond me, because I mean, they're just there. Maybe those wheels are cheaper there, but like for me to drop, $3,000 on some questionable looking wheels when they arrive, because work has the absolute worst advertising in the world. So like you see the wheel, it's kind of interesting.
There goes that sponsorship.
Well, it's true though.
I think they're better now, but yeah, like they were never good. Like always in the catalog, it's like the most hurting size of the wheel.
Yeah.
You're like, I hope it's gonna look sick, and like,
and I mean that's almost kind of good, because it forces the builder to like look at these new styles of wheels and think, can I pull that off? Or like, is that going to look good with 200 mil of lip or 150 mil of lip? Well, I guess that's 5 to 7 inches in American terms. Is that going to look good? Like, I don't know. Right. But like at the end of the day, any wheel that's fitted correctly and like is interesting is going to look good. You know what I mean? You could take a fucking China plate and put a deep lip on it with 5 bolts and it like looks pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta
play wheel. That's next level, man.
You just gotta be a bit creative. But like, yeah, I guess what I'm saying is,
is this fucking Toto's Road all over again?
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, what do you think, Kevin? Because like, yeah, like you look at some of those car shows in Japan, like the underground kind of like VIP ones and stuff.
I mean, it does kind of feel like, like there is a cookie cutter way you could build a car. Like, when it's like where they make the meme about it, it's like the tow hook handle and the like sad boy sticker and the heart-shaped wheel that's on crooked, and like you know what I mean, the like sticker bombed fender or whatever, and it's like
the something starter pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nobody's made a quote unquote stylish drifter starter pack, but that's 100% what it is.
Yeah, they've influenced everyone, and now there's a barrier of entry.
But I'm okay with that. I'm happier that than the other way. I'm happy.
I totally agree.
I'm happy the pendulum's on this side.
Right.
Does that work?
Yeah. Okay. Kevin, I'm absolutely happy with it as well. But I do think does it dilute it if everyone's doing the same thing? Like, I don't know. Is that? And here's like the other side of this is like, Kevin, you adhere to that mentality, but your car doesn't follow that mentality. Like, it takes pieces from it, but your car it's definitely like a Kevin car that has influences from different places. And I think, not to like toot our own horn or fucking pump our own goddamn tires, I think that Western Canada, and you guys can speak to the Pacific
and the PNW maybe,
and have had a pretty good sense of like understanding. You take pieces of your inspiration, not the whole thing.
Yes,
that's what I think. Like, you take parts of it. I had this conversation with Zap yesterday. Because I was talking to him about how I thought S15s were too expensive. And then it derailed into this. And he was actually like, no, like he said, and I was very surprised. He said the same thing. Nobody's doing anything different.
Yeah. But it's a double-edged sword, man, because like, for example, I got, like a one-off set of veil sides that like, they look pretty sick. Some people might think they look really sick, but like, I think as a majority,
I like that nobody thinks they look awful. They either think they look sick or pretty sick.
No, I just mean some people might not give a shit about them.
There you go. All right. I liked your measurement.
But if I were to have 03s or KFs on that car, I guarantee you the clout would be way bigger. They'd be way bigger. Because people would be like, oh, yo, it's got KFs, or like, yo, it's got 03s, or it's got Minervas, or it's, insert fucking top 10 popular fucking Japanese wheel here, TE, Riga Master. Like, I mean, they're not bad wheels. There's nothing bad about those wheels. But I mean, if we're talking 3-piece here, there's nothing good about a Minerva or an 03 or a fucking KF or a Meister. They're fine, but they're not like groundbreaking or interesting or innovative or fucking any of those things.
Yeah, people like what they know, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then your wheels are a perfect example too. It's like your wheels are crazy. Like they're fucking crazy. Like I don't like them, but like I think they're cool because they're fucking crazy. And some people really like them, and some people are like, what the fuck are those?
Yeah, so like pretty polarizing.
They don't fit into my like top 10, like I know these wheels categories, so they must not be that cool. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, but so the other side of the sword, I guess, is what I was going to say, because I was literally looking at Jake's wheels today and thinking, man, KFs are fucking sick. I would really like to have KFs, which stems from when I was young and I saw these, you know, I would look at option magazines all the time, and like the cars that I loved the most were like this 180 with staggered KFs and this like JZX 100 with staggered KFs, like 17, 18 or 18, 19 or whatever. And they just look so fucking sick, man. But never did I think Blitz 03s could reach that level. But yeah, I would probably have a set of KFs.
All right. But that's fine. And I get it. But then are we too attached to our nostalgia to progress? Like
but see that, I guess the thing is I'm going backwards. I've never had a popular wheel. And Kevin and I were talking about that today. It's like the 100. I've always loved 100s, but I've never had one because I was just like, well, I'm just going to get this other thing that's like a bit more attainable and then try to find my 100 loves in this other car. Or like same thing with the KFs. It's like, I've always loved KFs, but I could have had KFs fucking 10 years ago. But like, I decided to buy all these other wheels or build all these other wheels that like maybe weren't as popular, or maybe they were more interesting. And now I'm circling back and said, like, if you can't beat them, join them. I'll just once and for all, just get these wheels that I've kind of always loved. And maybe other people just go straight to that.
Like now they're so expensive. You can't even get them. Doesn't even make sense to get them, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think so. There's, there was a point that I was thinking that like people listening to it would be upset about, but I guess the other side that we've talked about in the past, but I'll say it again, were Blitz 03s in the past a desirable wheel? Like there's a difference between Blitz 03s and the SKFs in the culture. So there's a sense that the want for them has been created recently more than it has been like a nostalgia thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to say something that the one thing that I guess I didn't even really know. And then when I sort of started finding out, I didn't even really believe, but like work wheels is literally the king in Japan. It's hands down, any car show, any whatever, like work wheels is the king. So like, I guess this is, for me, a Blitz 03 could never achieve the same notoriety and glory as a work wheel. It's just not as cool ever.
And also like
because it doesn't have the lineage.
Like I might be like making myself sound stupid here, but like Blitz 03, you could never just be like, hey, I want this offset. Wasn't it just like, here's like the 5 different choices of wheel? It's not like a work where you can like
correct
get all the different offsets and all the different faces. And
I'm pretty sure you're correct on that one, where it was like it was made by someone else for Blitz.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Sorry, my cat's like knocking over my mic stand. Yeah, it was made for my box, bro. I have a chair in a room with like boxes. It's fucked.
I was living in a dorm.
Yeah, fully. I assume I don't actually even know either, but I don't think they were a special order wheel.
No, I don't think so.
Like, what I want to know is, okay, so like these dudes that are hella into Blitz 03s, like, could they even list all the other Blitz wheels? I bet you they can't.
Yeah, the Blitz 01s, the Blitz 02s, Blitz 03s.
When do they stop? What number do they stop at?
Because yeah, our buddy Rarespec just built a 6-bit sick set of Technospeed Z2s, which in my opinion are vastly superior to the 03 and like just so much more attractive, like so much more dynamic. But yeah, they're not an 03.
But sorry. Now we focused on the Blitz 03 a lot, which kind of was the point, but not actually. The whole thing still is the Blitz 03. I realized was the perfect analogy for what was probably going on in the car scene right now.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's exactly. The Blitz 03 is just the yardstick for everything. Like everything is going up in cost because I guess like there's probably less Blitz 03s and there's more people who know about them and there's more people who want them, and it's like that for every single thing out there, you know.
Like Gerard shared a picture with me of this dude that had like
eight sets.
Eight sets.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Whoa, no way! Whoa, you're like gonna be like Adam LZ." And I was like, "Why would you buy that many sets of the same fucking wheel?" Like,
yeah,
I mean, get it to drift, but
yeah, exactly.
Also, it's like having different pairs of shoes. Like you could have so many different pairs of shoes, or just buy like Vans deck shoes all of the time. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, does anyone dress like a cartoon character? Do you have like 14 sets of the same clothes? And you just wear like the same outfit every day, but it's clean clothes, you know, like that's the equivalent, you know,
I guess. So
yeah, like I understand.
Blitz 03s are the cartoonization of car culture.
Of wardrobe. Yeah.
Of wardrobe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I understand if you're like running a program and you have, you know, or drifting and like you want to have like matching wheels. Like I have, 2 full sets of veil sides because I want my car to look the same all the time. But I mean, at that point, you could have 2 full sets of 2 different wheels. You know what I mean? If you have that many fucking wheels. And like, I don't know why you'd want that many sets of one wheel. Like you just said, like, it's like,
maybe they're different sizes or finishes.
Yeah. Really love that wheel, you know?
There's a house on my street that has 2 Jetta station wagons, a black one and a white one, like the same year, same everything. And it's like, I guess you really love Jetta station wagons, you know?
There's a house on my street that has 2 Sienna, 2 like the 2017-18 model with the I think it's SE, the sport one. Yeah. It has like the 19-inch wheels. They have a black one and a white one. The exact same van.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, did you get a deal? Because you
only need 1 minivan. No house needs 2 minivans. Like,
wild. Jeez.
Crazy. So crazy.
Anyway, but I think this is indicative of a bigger problem where like at this run up, one, like things keep getting more expensive. Fine. We've talked about that. But I don't know. I do struggle with this because I never want to be the old guy, like shitting on younger generations, being like, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not right.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know, because I hated when dudes did that to me. Like they're like, "Why is that?"
But the thing is, you never understood it until you became old. It's like people are like, "Oh shit!" Like stop screwing around and get a good job. And it's like you're like, "Man, fuck you, man. You know what you're talking about." And but now you're like, "Yo, like seriously, bro, stop screwing around and get a good job," or like stop wasting your entire day skateboarding and maybe just learn anything today. Like, you know, I mean, just something, you know.
Yeah, all right.
Flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn a kickflip and keep skateboarding. No, I just hated it, and I always want to like give people a chance to explain themselves a bit, or like, because I understand that that doesn't speak for everyone in this scene, but it does seem like there's a big portion of it. And then part of me wonders is like, are those kind of like the tourists? You know, like, are they in it for the long haul, or are they just in it for like the grab, where it's like, oh, I did all these things on Instagram and look, now it exists and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. Like,
I just thought it was an interesting question.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Like how soon after like meeting someone do you like, you know, do you think you can know if they're just like a tourist of the scene?
When they mention Blitz 03s.
You know, they're a tourist.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean,
that's a good question.
We've been talking about them all night, so I guess we're a bunch of tourists.
Yeah. That is interesting. How do you know if someone's a part-timer or a tourist? Oof.
If they say,
well, I'll tell you what. If they have a one-off,
they say stage
2.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I got a stage 2 anything.
I mean, honestly, though, I'll tell you what. If they have a fucking one-off set of veil sides, or if they have a one-off set of fucking what the fuck are yours, Euroliners, or what are those things called again? Salbecks. You can tell those motherfuckers ain't tourists.
Now we're gonna build. Now people are gonna adhere to the SerialNine cookie cutter formula, and they'll be like, "You got to get veil sides or something."
No. You literally pick. No, the SerialNine formula is this: you pick any fucking wheel and you make it into a good size,
make it your own,
and then you put a good finish on it and you fit it properly, and you've created something special. So,
oh, that's a nice thing. I like the part where you said created something special.
I wanted to show you guys.
Actually,
I just sent you something. Yeah, no, I mean that's true though.
No,
that's what I mean.
I meant it sincerely.
Okay, good. Because like a car with Blitz 03s just cannot be that special. Work always releases new wheels every year. And like, I want to say 60% of the time we're like, you know what I mean? But like, this is a perfect example of like, you take whatever fucking wheel they release and then you make it into a decent size and fit it properly. And it looks pretty sick.
I remember what I was going to say.
Okay, say it.
I got it. The counter argument to what we're saying must be somebody right now yelling, "It's period correct."
Oh,
okay.
Then you got me. I cannot argue with that because.
So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but like I don't know. I was just thinking, like I don't know, the Aristo and the Altezza
are also period correct.
That's what I meant. That's or the wheels are older than the cars.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you're right. If that is your argument, there are many. Like I got pages and pages of wheels that are also period correct.
I agree. I'm just saying, like to them, they're probably like, or maybe there's a car in the D1 or like an option magazine that had like Blitz 03s that I'm just not aware of. I want to go back to how do you know if someone's a part-timer in the scene? Because how do you know if they're a tourist when they show up?
Because they couldn't tell you what the last 2 years worth of work wheels are.
I don't think I could tell you what the last 2 years of.
Yeah, but you're like a part-time car guy, so like that doesn't even make sense.
That's not even true, Gerard. You go fuck yourself.
I just sent you a couple of things on Instagram.
I feel like the only true way is just actually time.
Yeah, I agree. That is actually it. I think though,
because some people wax and wane and come back, and you know what I mean, like get into other things or can't do it for a bit because of school or what.
Yeah, I mean, also, here's my thing. I'm not going to look at the new work catalog because it doesn't pertain to me. I understand that it exists, but I already have wheels. I just don't need to buy more wheels right now.
Well, there you go. If you had Blitz 03s, you wouldn't need to look at the work catalog because you already got the Blitzes, bro.
Yeah, but I didn't buy Blitz 03s. Also, I didn't buy an S chassis. Like I didn't buy.
I feel like if someone comes up to you at a gas station, it's like, "Yo, man, is that a drift car?" And they're like, "Yo, I'm good. I got my Cobalt and blah." And you're like, "All right, like this guy, you know what I mean? Like this guy is a tourist. This guy, maybe
that guguy's probably not even a car guy.
That's
like
a
high school dude getting McDonald's.
I've been around long enough that I've been around tourists,
but I feel like almost every high school guy is like a car guy, or like.
Well, they got to be a little bit.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Oh, maybe not today, man. I swear to God.
Probably not today.
Because honestly, like I drive by the high school all the time in my car, and I drive by the guys, and I like downshift and burble and do all this shit, and I'm like, yeah, like this is sick, and like, dude, not many of them look, man, like they just don't give a fuck. Like,
oh, I'm sorry that the teen boys don't look at your car when you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You remember when that kid yelled out at you in New West when you were driving to Paulo's?
What did he be like? What did he say? Something bad, right?
Yeah. He's just like, yeah. He just wanted to go by, and he was like,
yeah, like what the fuck.
Well, I don't know, Gerard. I've had teenagers come and talk to me about my car, so
there you go.
You're more approachable.
I'm more, Then they ask me for directions.
Well, you're not driving. You're not driving past them, going like bang, 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 bang,
and being like, "Hey, yo, look at me, look at me."
Yeah, exactly. They appreciate
in a wagon. Like Gerard, it's that your thing's too hard to understand.
Yeah, and it's also white.
The reason your own son doesn't really get it. Your son's like, Supras are dope, and you're like, I kind of got a Supra, and he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Dad.
but you
And
don't.
like,
yeah,
but you don't because it's got too many doors. Like,
yeah, it doesn't look like a coupe. It doesn't look fast, Dad.
There's no wind.
Yeah, like June likes my car, but she likes Kevin's car way more than my car.
Side note, I was showing Dominic those AMG wagons. I was like, yo, like I want to get one of these and stuff. And so I, played a clip of like it starting up and driving. And he's like, it sounds like that's stock. I'm like, yeah, that's stock. And he's like, whoa, that's like really cool. He's like, we got to get one of those. And then, it's like when they do like a 0 to 200 run or whatever, and it's like super fast. He's like, Dad, you got to get one of those. It was pretty cool.
Well, that's good. Good. No, I was saying I've been around long enough that I've been around people that were tourists. how do you know that? I think tourists go really hard. It's like a sprint for them, like it's like over, and they can know things or they can't know things, but they be the most over a short period of time, and then they exit because it's like then they have a story to tell. It's like I used to do that, like they can tell their like kids or their friends like, oh, I used to be into cars. Oh, I used to own this thing. And they can romanticize the story that, like for 3 or 4 years, I was doing something, like, oh, I did that. Like I was there. Here's me. Here's a picture of me in front of my car. So
I feel like I've known people like that. Like they're like collectors. They're like, yeah, like, oh yeah, like they were like into cars and they were into mountain biking and then they were into surfing.
Then they were a DJ
and then they were into trucks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then they're really into running and you know what I mean?
Sounds like a bunch of people we know.
But then it was really that they were just trying to get everything out of their way before they started a family. And it's like, okay, that's one way to live your life. And all right, cool. But I don't know. Because like the thing is the person that doesn't know anything, not the Cobalt, the guy that's talking to you about an Altezza with a Cobalt probably isn't gonna, it's not, maybe he sees your car. And if he's young enough, he's like, oh, that's actually what I need to be doing. And I've been way off. But you got to give people the room to be like, to be dumb when they're young, to like not fully know, and then like actually get into like the cool car. But
what I was going to say
is a cool car.
What I was going to say is it'd be probably just cool to have an episode or like part of the episode where we just talk about cool wheels that you should buy instead of fucking Blitzo 3s. Because we talk a lot about the culture of it, but like we could just give people ideas of how to fucking have a cool car without those wheels. Do you have any ideas, Kevin?
I swear, didn't we already talk about this?
Did we?
We could do this again.
I feel like you have to have like an industry person, like a person who's seen the scene and sold, like who, like almost.
That's a tough thing though, because like the issue is like you want to talk to an industry person about it. Maybe they are only selling new wheels,
or
and they don't know.
Yeah, but they could be into wheels, right? Brand. Like those people might sell wheels all day long, but they might have a couple different sets of their own wheels. That
Gerard, who do we know that likes wheels more than you?
A lot of people, man.
Who do we know that likes wheels more than you?
I'm sure we know people.
Crickets. Yeah.
The answer is we don't. There's no way we know anyone.
Right there, that was the closest you've ever come to like peace on earth right there. That silence.
No, there's no way that there's no. Also, you literally just called me a part-timer. And it's like all I try to do is be around cars.
I know, but I just meant because your car sits most of the time. Now you're driving it, you're a full-timer.
You're a 1%er, bro. You made
1%er.
If you roll around in a 4Runner 90% of the time and you just look at your sick car in the basement, you're part-timing at that time.
What happens when your 4Runners got to build though?
You're on what's the word? You're on EI at that point.
Oh,
you're laid off.
Yeah, you're laid off. Yeah,
good.
So we're calling you back, Ryan. We're calling you back to work.
But it's the thing is that I like being around cars a ton, right? Like that. At the end of the day, for me, it's more important to like. I don't know why this happened, but to take pictures and make videos is like how. I don't know.
Okay, so list all the work wheels that you do know then.
That's content that'll last forever, bro.
All the work wheels that I do know?
Yeah, do it.
This is fun. So there's Kwamis, which are the same as CR Kais, XT9s, and then they.
What's the difference between a CR Kai and a Kwami?
The Kwamis are the newer version of them. They come in bigger sizes. I think they're made lighter, and I think they have better offsets possibly, but I know that CR Kais do not come in 19s. They have to come in Kwamis. And then that's what happened with the D9Rs is that they're no longer the XT9s. It's like the new version of the old wheel. And then you have XT7s, but then they replace those with a new one. and then you can
T7R
or T7. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got their naming down.
Yeah.
So those are the emotions, and then there's obviously the line of Geonosis, which I don't know those names because they all have things.
Yeah.
But you have.
What do you mean
yours?
you don't get the word catalog?
What do you mean?
You're doing good, bro.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing
What do you mean
really
you
good.
don't have word? Like, sounds like you get the word catalog delivered.
No. And you have equips, and there's a whole line of different equips.
What is a Brombacher? Brombacher.
Yeah, talk about all those like crazy, talk about
is
Krag,
that like a
bro.
silver and like black wheel? Is that like the silver and black ones, like the bigger ones, like the truck wheels?
They do come in silver and black. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goo
This is a
car.
weird quiz.
Just getting more obscure.
Can you tell me about the the name literally just jumped out of my head now.
Now you're a part-timer.
I know.
No,
honestly, my memory is real bad. Kevin had them. They were called the Racing Wheel, and they were called the
Motor Concept 1.
Yes, the MCO. Can you tell me about the MCO?
Those looked like a pair of. They looked like another wheel. Did they look like? Fuck, they kind of look like the 2-piece split fives, right? Is that what they were? No, 3-piece?
They were a 10-spoke.
10-spoke, right?
They kind of look like that, like a TC 105, or like that wheel that Eric had, which was an SSR GTX 01 or something.
I don't even. They weren't even that great.
Yeah.
So,
they
anyways,
cracked all the time, and they needed to be repaired.
No,
right?
they never cracked, and I drove them into a semi truck and destroyed them.
What was the ones that got cracked that needed to be repaired?
Riga Masters.
My Yankees.
Yankees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my
There was like these. Yeah. All right.
But I mean, you got a bunch of camber and a very tiny tire.
Yeah.
And a penchant for jumping the car.
How about the small equips? Do you know the small equips?
Don't those just have numbers attached to them?
Yeah, they do.
Aren't they like,
yeah.
And honestly, it is a bit confusing. There's a 102, 03, and then you're like, one has the spokes, one has the spokes missing.
Yeah.
One is a mesh.
One's a star.
Yeah.
How big can you get those wheels? Like,
15.
what's the biggest?
No, you could get the Equip 01 in that style in a 17, couldn't you?
You're talking about the 5-bolt one?
But it was 5-bolt, 5-spoke. But then there's also the 5-spoke Equip that's like the flat spoke Equip.
Yeah. I had a set of those.
Not the like throwing star Equip.
Those were so fucking
those wheels
sick. We had 18s. Sick. Yeah, that is a wheel that honestly, craziest part.
They come in 18s?
Yeah, we had a set, so it was 18 by 10.5. It's in my video. It's in the original stretch video with the rat. So the craziest part is that's a perfect example. That wheel came out. We're like, yo, this wheel's sick. We bought that wheel in the craziest size, had the wheels, and then they discontinued the wheels. And now those wheels literally do not exist. Like I've never seen a build with them. I've never seen photos of them. Nobody has those wheels. But in Vancouver exists a set of 10.5, 12, like 10.5, negative 30, and a 12, like negative 20. They're so nuts.
I'd want something like that, and then I want to get a Crown like Kevin's, but like the 3.5 liter and put.
Yeah, those wheels would be nuts on there.
That's what I want, but that's not the life I live.
Those wheels I just sent you in the last.
I want to be like Kevin.
Want to be like Mike?
So I'm just trying to kind of.
It's me on if I know shit or not.
No. I'm just trying to dissect some of the nuances in why we don't think blitzes are that cool. Because, for example, I just sent you the new Landvik LD1. Like, most people would look at that wheel and be like, it looks like a fucking Euroline. It looks like the Euroline. And it's like, why would Work release a brand new wheel that looks like every other fucking wheel that looks like that? It's like, the VIP looking whatever.
I'm going to tell you exactly why I think Blitz 03s aren't that cool. And it's because I think that there was a point where I thought they were. Like, I thought they were, I think like when Mitch had them on his R32, I thought like, that's a pretty cool wheel. But I hadn't seen a bunch of it. The issue is that it flooded the market and it became part of a formula. So to me, you're no longer building a car that like represents yourself. You're building a car that's like clouty, or you want to get likes, or you want to get someone to look at you. And I think that's actually going back to what the purpose of this episode is meant to be, is like
clout chasing
formula building. Like,
no, that's just it.
Are you just shit out of luck if like what you happen to like is what's also cloudy though? Like, what if that is what you've always wanted?
a little
like VSKF's Gerard's
yeah, like
car.
what if you've always wanted VSKFs and like, you know what I mean? You like were
but Gerard ain't getting fucking
you've been in
VSKFs.
college for 4 years and now the prices skyrocketed, but you finally got out and got that job and you could buy them now. And it's like, if you don't buy them now, you're never going to get them. And you know, like then you finally buy them and you have them on your car and like you're so happy to have these wheels that you've wanted for so long, but like nobody respects you now because like there's cloudy wheels or what, like, you know. I
mean, if I'm gonna be very honest with you, a little bit, like you.
Yes, 100%.
You gotta go. You have to go. You're gonna have to go above and beyond and do a bunch of other things to your car to set it apart. Now, like, what type of car is that going on? Does that person happen to have an S chassis?
Yeah.
You know, like
when have you ever seen Blitz 03s on a Civic?
I mean, I'm not looking at a ton of Civics.
I'm just saying, like that's the style. Like, oh, I got a drift car, I got Blitzes. I got a Civic, I got some other fucking wheels. But like I'm just saying, the Civic builders could also look at drift style and be like, hey, those are kind of cool. Let's do that. You know what I mean? But like, man, it just boils down to people just aren't that fucking creative, man. And like, that's just the truth, dude.
It comes to that line where. Did we used to be more creative?
No. Okay.
Or have we've never been creative.
But that's why I was comparing it to Japan. So let's say, like, I've never been to a car show in Japan, and I obviously don't speak Japanese and shit, but like they always have the new wheels. So like I assume that in Japan, when you show up to a car show with like some new work wheel in like some crazy size, people are fucking stoked. They're like, yo, you got the new LD1s. Yo, you got the new Schwert SC4s or whatever. You know what I mean? Whenever the new wheel or something that they haven't seen before, I feel like they would be pretty stoked. Whereas like if you took that same wheel, you took 5 cars, one has Blitz 03s and like, you know, 4 of them have like these other obscure wheels that people don't know, they're not going to be that stoked to see those other wheels. They're all going to be stoked to see the Blitzes. They're not going to be like, hey, you got the new this, because they don't even fucking know what that is.
That's what I said before. It doesn't like register. You only care about what you know about.
Exactly.
You
know? Yeah, it's your bubble of influence and what's in it and what you care about.
Yeah, so in a bigger bubble.
I'm sure there's times at car shows where you just like walk right past the craziest thing that's there because you can't, you know,
because it's a massive tree through
the forest.
Because the string's broken, right? The string's broken. You have no idea what the fuck it is.
Yeah. What? It's his old analogy of
yeah, like the car's too crazy that you can't hang on anymore.
Yeah.
So then,
yeah. Exactly.
It's just you're not there yet. But here's the thing, Kevin, you're absolutely right. People know what they know. But are we currently existing in a culture that perpetuates the same thing? And I think that's actually kind of meant to be the point of this episode, is the Blitz 03s are only an analogy for the greater thing that's going on, which is
echo chamber.
The echo chamber of cars. Has this always been a problem? Like, I don't know. Has it? Oh, and I just never realized it?
I would kind of think so. Like, you would assume muscle car guys are into muscle cars and aren't trying to hear about
maybe center lines were really big at one point, right? Maybe everybody had center lines at one point, and then after a while, people are like, yo, center lines are fucking whack. Get some Kragers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it goes through waves like that for sure.
That's a good point, man, because maybe if I were to build a muscle car, like I like center lines, like they're sick. I like Kragers, they're sick, but like maybe there's dudes in the muscle car scene, they're like, dude, man, you put fucking center lines on that thing, man. Like, come on, the center lines, man. Like,
hey, look at this part timer.
You're like, no, I want it to be period correct.
Shouting from the back. It's period correct.
Yeah.
What a fun term. Yeah, okay. I don't really know if there is an answer there's an observation to be made.
I mean,
it felt like we were living in like the Renaissance of it. Like we went through this really great revival period. And now I wonder, controversial, is it too much?
I mean, it seems like everything you're being shown is too much. Like, I mean, what's too much though? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like all those builds that, those YouTube builds, like Ryan Turk and Dom, and like all those cars, like that Altima and the like Ferrari powered FRS and the what's the other one? The V10, like Judd NASCAR FRS.
F1, but yeah.
Yeah, F1 Supra.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that shit. Like, is that too much? Because like there's literally no limit anymore. And like,
right.
But it seems like everyone is always chasing the most. So now, everyone's build is crazy now,
But is it though? No, because like I think what he's saying is that formula, that's like an accepted build is that formula. Like if you got those, like check those 6 items, your build is legit, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think what you're describing, if I were to take a step back, and maybe I'm wrong, you're describing like the influencers, like the top tier people that are going to set trends. There's trendsetters, and then there's people that follow trends.
Yeah, but I just think it trickles down. It's like when, like when everyone you're looking up to is building these like absolutely mental dream level cars, I feel like everyone like trickles down to wanting to achieve something in that vein,
Right. But then the one thing that they can peel away from that is like the Blitz 03. They're like, I can't have 1,000 horsepower, but I can have a Blitz 03. Like that. And I'm not mad. Like, it's not that I'm mad. I'm not. I'm just wondering, are we at a point, like I said, we lived through this, like the Renaissance of it, and now is it time where we like kind of start shifting to do new things? Like,
what are we even talking about right now? We're talking about the people like, trying to move
like
on,
style, but yeah, like style, because now we're like stuck.
But I mean, like you can dissect it all fucking day long, man. But it ain't gonna happen. Like, just build some cooler ass cars, like this.
But if that's the answer, Gerard, that is the answer to the dissection that I just did, which is like.
But that is the answer. Right. Yeah, like people But like,
how do we define what's cool? Because like what Gerard defines as cool, that's the thing, is that people are looking at what they think is cool. Cool is a manufactured thing. Yeah, it's subjective. It's super subjective. I wrote an essay on it in university.
Really?
Yeah, in sociology, I got like 98% on it.
Oh,
so
shit!
Let me tell you
sure know
cool.
what cool is. Well, yeah, I mean that's a perfect example, man. Like on my Blit, I have wheels that are whatever unique and like pretty cool. Like 99% of the people don't know what they are. 92% of the people don't give a shit what they are because they're not the popular wheel. You know what I mean?
Right. So then, to a point, then maybe I understand why people do it.
Yeah. If I put KFs on that car, I fucking guarantee you that it would boost the popularity of that car.
Yeah.
Immensely.
Like, look, I'm not even arguing that I have like crazy taste in wheels. I don't. I run Kwamis on my car.
But they're still unique on that car.
Yeah. Not a ton of people do that. There's been a few others, and that's fine. But
19-inch Kwamis generally are like pretty fucking rare. And then
sell them brand new.
But I'm saying, how many people do you know have purchased 19-inch Kawamis? Because like, what are you going to put 19s on an S chassis? No. So it's like, it's kind of sick that you have 19s on a big body. So sport wheels on a big body and a big size. So it's like the big body interpretation of a sports wheel.
Right.
So that's why it's cool. Anyway.
That's what I wanted. But yeah, I guess. But maybe that's exactly it. Maybe because we live in a culture of like hey, look at me, quickest way possible. maybe that's why people are choosing those like cookie cutter builds or the formula. I mean, like, look, if the formula allows you to go certain places and do certain things in a shorter period of time, so you maybe could be a tourist and like check all the boxes. Maybe
is it the barrier of entry?
It is the barrier of entry.
Right?
It's like, but it's like also like the golden
pass.
ticket.
Yeah, it's a free pass to the clout finals.
So you just buy a JZX 100 on Blitz 03s.
Done. There you go.
Yeah. Lower it and then you're good. But and then you can do that. Now the interesting thing to be would obviously like track the data and be like, hey, do all these people stick around and do something different? Do they love these wheels or these cars or this build type forever? Or did they branch out?
The other thing too is in the last episode, Gordon touched on something. He said, well, if Gerard does something, it might be a bit weird, but people will look at it and think, okay, that's kind of cool. But if some, he mentioned him, but like if some rando person does something like kind of weird and obscure, then people can't understand it. And they're just like, oh, that's fucking stupid. Why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if everybody did something weird and unique, they'd just be like, oh, like they wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like it would randomize the like quote unquote coolness. People would just be like, oh, that's different. That's interesting. Some of it might work, some of it might not, but like it'd be a lot more interesting.
I think Gord's point in the last episode, nothing illustrated that more to me than when Underglow made a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like there was a long time where you, to Kevin's point, you want to pick out a tourist. If someone's posting on a forum being like, hey, I got this thing, where can I buy some Underglow for it? It was like an immediate like, nope, like right off. But then people came along that knew their shit and they brought it back and they did it. So they like deemed it to be okay. There was like, it wasn't that it was cool. It's that somebody made it cool, which is again, Blitz 03.
I think it's because everything's like cyclical or like a wave. And it like got to the point where it was like cars would have absolutely nothing except for like a fart can muffler and street glow. And like, that was it. Like no wheels, not lowered. And like, you'd see those driving around and like, that was why you're like, all right, there's no way street glow is cool. But then then it came back to where you're like, all right, like this car is sick and has absolutely everything and street glow and it looks so sick.
I mean, someone had to take that jump
too. Lambo doors are the same thing. Like, there's a long time where Lambo doors are like, that shit is whack AF. And then all of a sudden you got this car that looks absolutely insane and it has Lambo doors and you're like, oh, there you go. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People were cherry picking like the thing that would get them. So there you go. People have always been doing this. And now that you think about it, people have always been cherry picking the part of culture that would get you the most attention for the least amount of effort. Underglow, Lambo doors.
Blitz 03.
But the Blitz 03 is just the current version.
The current iteration. Yeah.
The current iteration of that. It's the same mentality. It's your ticket in. It's a thing that says, but I mean, like,
is camber not that? It's like, stance. Is the camber stance not that? Like,
I feel
that's like a pretty easy way to make your car look different from every other car very quickly,
Yeah, and I think there was a point where that absolutely was the case.
Or what about squat trucks?
Oh,
no, because you're only paying half the money, right?
Gerard,
no, you're paying double the money because you got to lift the front.
Shit. Now that we went into squat trucks, I forgot what I was going to say. God damn it.
I was going to say, side note, see, maybe you can remember, but I was thinking about doing the fenders on the Blit and getting wider wheels because I thought, I don't really love this car. So what should I do now besides, 15 to 20 hours worth of fucking work? And like, because like it's fucked. It has to get paint or wrap anyways. And like, because I was talking to that dude that bought the Crown. And I was like, yo, how much does a paint job cost these days? He's like $5,000. And I thought in my head, like, you're paying $5,000 to make your car look exactly the fucking same, maybe with a different color. Like, that doesn't seem like a whole lot of value. But if you're gonna do the fenders and like do a bunch of body work and like widen it and make it look fucking sick, and then pay the $5,000 so your car looks completely different after, that seems like it might be worth it. But not that I would pay $5,000. You don't
really like this car and you want to put more money into it.
Well,
I'll just throw money at it.
I wouldn't pay $5,000 for a paint job. I'll tell you that right now. Not a chance. I just wrap it or fucking piss on it or something. 5,000 is too much for my blood. Maybe if it was a nice car, like, you know, like it needed a $5,000 paint job, like if it was a, you know, Taycan or, you know, like a Ferrari or something, but like no Blit needs a $5,000 paint job.
Yeah, I think you're underestimating the amount of
okay,
money.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm just saying a Blit does not need a $5,000 paint job, in my opinion.
It might.
But it needs $5,000 worth of fender work.
I mean, I didn't want to just fully talk about Blitz 103s. I wanted to talk about like the
103s.
Blitz 03s. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
I wanted to talk about like the state of the car culture that we have, and like
haven't we talked about all this stuff before though?
Yeah, but we had to cut a lot of it out because you were swearing at people.
Like who?
Anyone with like a 100 that you didn't think that was living it. But like it was very laser focused on 100s is the thing at the time.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to that Chaser episode and I'm like, man, I'm heated. Like I'm definitely like getting choked. It's pretty funny.
You get like that about a lot of things.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm like swearing a lot and like yelling and shit.
Yeah, you got real worked up about it.
I mean, I don't want to be cliche or derogatory or whatever, but like, dude, it's North America, man. It's 100% North America. It's
Hang
like
on. Is it North America?
Or is it USA?
Yeah.
I feel as though maybe Canada doesn't have a big enough car scene itself to support a style or like a genre.
I disagree. We have a style.
What is our style? JDM?
It varies from place to place, but like I could go through periods of time and be like, Western Canada, there was a point. I'll speak just for drift cars. I don't know for like show cars. This doesn't pertain to you guys, but there was a point in time that if you were in Western Canada, and you were on a drift team, you painted your car. Everybody had the same color car. Like they could have different.
This
wheels.
was honestly, that was before any of the big, quote unquote, big name guys from the States. That was before.
Oh, that's way before.
Yeah, before Proceed, before
Animal Style,
Realize. Yeah, I guess you're right. But never do a thing first.
Never do a thing. That's Drift Union, and then you have Hot Boys.
Yeah,
you got Drift Farm.
I thought that shit was cool. I still think that
Husky Situations had matching.
Yeah,
Husky Situations did matching, and that was the Western Canadian. But that was like the thing to adhere to when you went to DUI, because DUI was such a big influence for Western Canada. I think. And Heat Bloom, like right? Yeah, like there was a thing. And there were points that we would check in on, but there wasn't like, oh, you have to run this wheel or it has to be this chassis. When you look at Drift Union or the Hot Boys or even Drift Farm, all of those cars are their own thing by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that they have in common is that they're all painted the same color, and some of them weren't even exactly the same color.
It's just like a vibe. They had all the same window banner. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that shit is really cool.
To me, that's the best of like Western Canada, is that era. But I'm old now, and
no, you're not so far off. But I mean, I just don't really like to go into historics really, because it's kind of like you're like living in the glory days, and you're like, like we did it first, like Kevin and I had the first Cressidas, and they were the nicest, and like when we were drifting, I mean, we had dudes like Gleb and like Nikolai. Those guys all had like the craziest cars, like fucking, they definitely could hold their own in all of North America, all of like USA. Like those cars were like, some of those cars were fucking nuts. Like,
the PNW always had like some nice ass cars.
And even Zach's like SC and shit. Like those cars are further time were really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of cars now are really nice. So, the gap has lessened.
And yeah, honestly, I feel like a bit like removed from the scene even, you know what I mean? Like in these last 2 years, it's like I haven't been down to a drift event in the States or been to a car show or like gone to SEMA or like been to an FD event or gone to Final Bout, like I don't know what, stuff could be going on.
But maybe
we just see what's on the internet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's better to a degree. Because I do agree, like Pacific Northwest, when I used to come out here and visit, I'd be like, holy shit. Like I remember the first time I saw Zach Dunn's 350Z, even like when he had that thing, I was like, whoa, that's wild. And then his SC, I was like, sick. And that
I'll show you wild, bro. Anyways, go on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, relax. Anyway,
keep going.
You see those things, and like Pacific Northwest had a very specific vibe and feel to it. And I guess it kind of feels like there's less room for that now. And there's more like things are just kind of being amalgamated to kind of get that, like that ticket, their ticket stamped to like move forward and progress. But then what caused that? Like what made that be a thing?
Like if you're trying to build something cool, like don't look at North America. Don't look at Europe, look at Japan.
But maybe the thing here is if you're trying to build something cool. I don't know how you teach this to someone.
Yeah, I mean, I almost want to say like it goes deeper, like the car culture somehow runs deeper in Japan. But like I'm just an outsider looking in, but like I also think like the car culture is very deep in North America as well. Like it definitely, I don't know if the
Gerard,
actual
if people are spending that much money on Blitzo 3s, it's fucking deep.
No, but no, not really, man. Because like that's like influencer shit. That's like people buying like fucking special Nike shoes because they're cloudy.
Special Adidas shoes is what you meant.
But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wonder if that shit exists in sneaker world too.
What do you mean? Like
you get this one fucking kick, like one set of kicks, and you're like, these are like the Blitzo 3s of fucking Nike.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's got to be tourists, and there's got to be people who just come in with a bunch of money and buy up all the like cool stuff that you want to buy, and like.
And then they influence the tourists to buy like, of course, man. I'd just show up and be fucking buying the Jordans from Space Jam. I'd be like, those are the ones.
But that's not. But you like those.
So I mean, I don't really know. I don't feel
the Marty
anyway.
McFly ones that like tie themselves up.
Yeah.
You can get those.
Look, man, I don't feel any which way about basketball shoes because I don't play basketball.
First of all, they're not fucking basketball shoes. Like, way to make yourself sound like a fucking old.
Are Jordans not basketball shoes?
I think he wants to say sneakers is what he wants to say. Is that what you want to say?
Yeah, because
he wants to say sneakers.
The sneaker culture.
It's like if we call a wheel a ram is what Gerard's pulling on us.
Like a hoop?
I'm not gonna fucking argue with that shit. That's some it's not necessary to argue over, in my opinion.
Sneakers or rim?
No, the rim
wheel.
But you're gonna get on me about calling sneaker shoes?
No, you're calling them basketball shoes. That's one genre of shoe.
I don't fucking play basketball. Look at me. I'm like,
I know,
5'10". Like I'm a white dude from Saskatchewan.
So what? Is sneaker that is anything that doesn't have like a leather sole?
Yeah, what define a sneaker for me now, Gerard? Compared to what's a shoe compared to a sneaker?
Yeah, tennis shoes, basketball shoes.
Yeah, but a lot of those sneakers are tennis shoes or running shoes or cross-training shoes or basketball shoes. So
name me one tennis shoe right now.
Some of the New Balance shoes are tennis shoes. A lot of
that's just brands. That's like you just saying.
Like you mean like the actual model? I couldn't tell you, man. I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about fucking shoes.
Okay.
Or sneakers or fucking anything.
No, you said shoes. Now you're as bad as I am. You pleb. Anyway, I'm glad that we did that. Sorry that I called sneaker shoes because they go on your.
No, you didn't call sneaker shoes. You called them basketball shoes.
I mean, aren't they still shoes? Are they not shoes? Do they not go on your feet?
I'm not talking about the shoe portion of your comment.
You just wanted me to use the proper lingo for a scene that I don't live in.
Dude, you could have used shoes. I don't give a fuck. You just don't call like all the shoes basketball shoes. Shoes is fine.
What do you mean? I was talking about basketball sneakers.
Whatever. Let's drop the damn fucking
basketball sneakers. I like that term.
I was talking about basketball sneakers, Gerard. I referenced Jordans.
Okay.
I thought I was doing my job.
Okay.
Listen, I spent enough time around Zap to know.
But what about Air Force Ones? Are they basketball shoes? Because they're not.
I don't think Air Force Ones are, but I think Jordans are.
No. Yeah, Jordan's.
Well, Jordan's like a different brand. Like Jordan's its own brand. It's not even a Nike.
Yes,
no, it's Nike. It's 100% Nike.
Jordan is its own brand.
It falls under Nike, Gerard.
It's made by Nike.
Made by Nike, yes, but it's not Nike Jordan. It's Jordan. Jordan is its own brand.
Well, I thought it was Air.
Like
Jordan.
Ram. Like Ram is made by Dodge, but Ram is a brand. I mean,
I could be wrong,
but I'm 99% sure that's how that works.
But it's a Dodge Ram.
No, it's not. It's not a Dodge Ram anymore. It's a Ram.
Oh, it's just a Ram 1500.
It's a Ram.
But, no. But I think this is like, because there's like Nike Golf is its own. That's like saying Nike
there's Nike
Golf
SB. There's Under
Nike
Armour.
SB. Like
Air Jordan is an American brand of basketball shoes, athletic, casual, and style clothing produced by Nike.
Yeah.
So Jordan is its own brand. That's
when did that start though? Like it wasn't always that way. But anyway.
No, it wasn't always that way, but it was.
I think it's
curious when it became its own.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing as like what Kevin said. Like Nike SB is its own department. I think they're
no. But that's not
all right.
Nike.
Is it traded separately on the stock market?
Yes. Okay.
Does it have its own IP?
I'm just saying. The only reason I know this is because I found this out recently. Like the last couple of years, I was like, oh, like it's like a Nike or Jordan. They're like, no, it's a Jordan because Jordan's its own. I'm like, what? Like I was like also confused. But yeah, Jordan is its own brand.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna Google is Nike is Air Jordan is Jordan Nike. Beep, 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 beep. I don't know, man. It says jordan.nike.com.
Yes, it's produced by Nike. So same as the Ram is produced by Dodge.
Yeah, but isn't that being like work Equip is like being like, no, Equip is its own brand.
Equip is the brand.
No. Okay.
That's kind of
whatever you want to. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like they like you're splitting hairs at this point.
Yeah. It's got a fucking Nike swoosh on it. So
but it doesn't.
Yes,
Jordans do not have a swoosh.
Go to Nike.com/.
No, but look
Jordan.
at the shoes, man.
I'm gonna fight you. There's literally, I'm looking at a pair right now.
Looking at the shoe right now. Yeah.
Yes. I'm on Nike.com/Jordan, and there is. You can buy a chain. It comes with a chain of the Airman, like the Jumpman doing.
You mean Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the Jumpman.
The Jumpman logo. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Gerard. And
okay, you're right.
Basketball
it has
sneakers.
the swoosh on it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, Nike. Okay. So Jordan is a Nike brand, but it's. I guess I feel like it's different than Nike SB though. You know what I mean?
It's like Under Armour. Under Armour is so its own brand that you like. You don't call it like Nike Under Armour, but it's always Nike SB. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Under Armour part, yeah.
Yeah, Under Armour was originally only sold at the Nike store, and then it became so big, then it had its own store, and then I think
that's how it is. That's what
Under
I mean.
Armour is like 100%.
No, because I can go to a Nike store and still buy. I can go to a Nike outlet and still buy Jordans.
Yes, but is there a premier Jordan store though?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't think there is, and if there was, it'd be in fucking Chicago.
I don't know, man.
No, Nike would never let go of Jordan for basketball because like so much of their shit is built around it.
Yeah, I'm not saying Nike doesn't own Jordan. I'm just saying Jordan is marketed as its own brand.
but all of those things are marketed technically as their own thing. They all have different subsections.
Here we go. Air Jordan is a separate line of shoes produced by the American company Nike. The Air Jordan shoes were originally produced in the year 1984. The shoes were created for the Hall of Fame legend basketball legend Michael Jordan.
Michael Ball.
The shoe line was named after the greatest basketball player of all time and honored him. The difference between Nike Air and Air Jordan. There's a difference. It's a thing.
What's the difference? Because I was referencing.
Okay, all right. Main differences between Nike Air and Air Jordan. The Nike Air series was named after the technology of pressurized gas, which was introduced by the same. Air Jordan was named after the basketball legend. Obviously, this is a stupid one. The Nike Air shoe line was released in 1987. The Air Jordan was created for Michael Jordan in 1984. All I wanted to clarify was that it's marketed as its own brand, owned by the conglomerate Nike.
Okay.
And maybe it's similar to the Under Armour because you can buy
Did you know that
Nike store.
Did you know that Nike owns Converse?
No, but I mean they probably acquired it recently.
In the last few years, they put they put the Lunar Lawn sole in they put the Lunar Lawn sole in the Converse Chuck 2s, and then nobody bought them, which was unfortunate. They were good shoes. Anyway.
Well, it's like you saying that, remember, who was it? Was it talking that I think it was Kevin. It was like, Earl's bought Cactus Club. Was that the one? And I was like, no, they already owned it. And then you're like, no, they didn't own it. But yeah, they owned, was 49% of it because they started that shit. And then they eventually just bought the rest of it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it was.
Yeah. Those are the same things. Those restaurants are already the same thing.
CFD.
It's weird to own two of the same things that are
but it's competing. Not the same though. They're not.
Actually, it isn't because we've already talked about people owning Blitzo 3. It's like multiple sets of the same wheels.
But it does feel like you're literally you own your own competition.
Maybe that's why
that's the point. That's the move, man.
All right. So where did we land on this? Hey, Kevin, is style dead?
No, it's just
having a nap.
Yeah, hibernating or something. Maybe.
Well, what do you consider stylish? That's a different, you know what I mean? That's because maybe a lot of people think style is fucking thriving right now, bro.
Yeah.
Because style to some people could be at its peak right now, for sure. How many sick 2000 model era cars can you see under the umbrella of grassroots drifting? A lot of them look pretty good.
And also it does feel like we're at a time when nobody, people are just buying brand new cars and absolutely modifying them to the living end instantly. And I don't really think that happened too much back in the day, Seems like it happens all the time now. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty crazy. Just to see a brand new car taken to that level right away,
right.
And brand new car, you can get everything. You get the brand new car, you roll it off the lot, you get suspension, engine parts, transmission parts, full body parts, right away for brand new cars. That's something that's pretty crazy. Normally the aftermarket would evolve after years and of stuff not working or people coming up with solutions, or it's now it's right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean that's kind of cool, but it's a bit of that it feels like we've had it too easy.
That in our
it feels like we've had it so easy, so maybe now that these wheels are so expensive, it's dudes are going to be at the junkyard and see some wheel that nobody's never heard of, and it's it's cheap, so then they're going to put it on their car and make it their own, and maybe the fact that these things are becoming so expensive is going to push the creativity and push other people, and maybe people are going to be I want to buy a Skyline, but I can't afford it. But hey, here's this other cool car that's kind of slept on, and I'm gonna build this. I'm
gonna build a Crown instead of a JZX.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that's so. But what kind of has to happen, though, I think, in order for what you're saying, is that we have to move past We have
Pasta.
to move past the loop that we are currently living in. Like,
yes,
that's the thing. It's like we have to
for growth.
Yeah, we have to start. We have to like move away from S chassis and maybe all that shit, and then go to the next platform. But maybe our generation isn't the one to do it. Maybe it's like the next ones that do it. Because maybe we're just so entrenched in like 2000 to 2010 that we don't want to do anything else.
I mean, it's
y'all speaking possible. Chinese. I just build my own shit and it's the best. So fuck all y'all.
I mean, you got to build your own stuff, you know?
Yeah, because like a normal Blit JZX is not enough for Gerard. So then I'm going to go and do the fenders and then do that as well. And then on the side, I'm also going to build this stupid Stagia wide body 600 horsepower JZ thing. But I wish I had a V8.
But they won't get back to you because they're on their own shit.
Fuck. I mean, what's another choice? I just take the 600 horse engine and put it in the Blit and then just get rid of all the rest of the shit. And then what?
Well, then you buy your goddamn flavor of the week, which is the AMG.
I can't, though. I wouldn't have enough money to. The only thing I could sell to get the AMG would be the Blit and the 2J or the Struck or the fucking basically sell everything. And there's no way I could even get an AMG. So like, yeah.
You wouldn't have to sell everything.
Not everything, but like it's a stretch bit. So I watched a video today and basically the wagons, period, are just they're way more money than the sedans. They hold their value longer and they're more sought after. So therefore demanding higher prices. You get a sedan for 20 grand, the wagon is 40 grand. It's fucked up. Yeah. It's like the relationship is like, because in the earlier years, there'd be like 200 wagons total for the entire year versus, 7,000 or 8,000 sedans. So like,
man, you love wagons so much.
They're sick. But that's the thing is like the people that own those cars are like a certain kind of people. And I'm 100% that kind of people.
Speak of their language. Those are your people.
Those are my people.
But it's like, man. Like I don't have a desire to own an AMG sedan because it's like I need a car that's bigger, but like I do want all that sick shit. You need
the real estate with all the horsepower.
I gotta put my bike in the back.
The buttons.
You know, it'd be fucking sick if I was really good at biking and I like if I was good at BMX, like show up to the skate park in a fucking CL63S or a C63S and take your BMX out the back and like whip some backflips or some shit. That'd be pretty crazy.
I thought you were going to say start a YouTube channel and then make a bunch of money.
No. I just mean like...
Teach people how to do bar spins.
Yeah.
No, we're teaching how to put subframe bushings in, man. Maybe we should start at the bottom, right? How to change your tire.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, bar spins are like an everybody thing. Subframe bushings on a fucking IS300 are not.
We should make backwards videos, like teaching people how to do it wrong. Like hook up your battery backwards.
Dude, that'd be fucking sick. Like I was saying, I want to do how to cross drill your rotors. And you just like straight up just drill them on the fucking car through the wheels.
Yeah.
Like I always wanted to make videos like that. How to change a steering wheel. It's like blow your face off with the fucking airbag. So fucking sick.
You just set like a dummy in there. Just set the airbag off.
100%.
So
what are we talking about this time?
I honestly don't even fucking know what we're
talking about. What
are you going to call this episode?
Meander.
Blitz 03. Meander. No, I'll get it. Don't worry. We talked about cookie cutter style. Is it affecting the culture that we exist in? And the answer is that it's always probably had some. It's always existed, but I think the more that I've talked through it with you guys, the more that I realize that it's just more predominant because of social media and probably has a greater impact because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to be part of a thing. So like the quickest way to be part of that thing is to do the thing that
do the same thing that everyone's doing. Yeah.
That's how you get your ticket, you know?
I want to be different, just like all my friends.
Yeah.
That's just there.
So maybe things aren't so bad. Maybe the reaction to Blitz 03s as an analogy for the car scene is mildly, it's like of the time, but maybe it isn't anything different than what's happened before.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And comment if Gerard should put VSKFs on the Blit.
Yo, smash that like button. Comment to Ryan. Tell him your woes. Give him a compliment sandwich.
So our friend Ben Walker, Third Strike Ben, who has a pretty nice car in Australia, recently got a CD Pro, says, hey, do you still offer the Delrin diff bushings for Z30? I said, yes. He said, fuck yes, I need. I've gone through 3 sets of urethane bushings. I said, what brand? Super Pro? He's like, yes. So yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Never even heard of Super Pro. So,
it's a big, expensive name brand.
Oh, really?
That I thought had a lifetime warranty.
Yeah. Let me ask.
Probably
picks. I've got any picks?
Maybe I could put this in as an actual thought. Like, what do we do to change the scene? Is that we start looking at like what the bigger sites are posting on social media as an influence. Because the thing is that now they're actually an influence. People are at a level that they are influencers and they can influence people to see things differently. So in the same way, before I started really talking to you guys, I never would have really thought of a crown as anything, but now I really like the crown. And that's because of my proximity to you guys and a better understanding of that. That comes through education. People can provide education for those things. 2, I think people need to start thinking, people that have a following or a sense of clout or a knowledge of what car culture could be, maybe should start thinking outside of the box a bit more instead of like just making the box more exclusive. And I think we would probably start to see different things, like it's like necessity breeds innovation. And I think we could get to that point, right? Where it's like, because otherwise we're just going to live in this loop where things get more and more and more expensive. So that's my thought.
I agree. All right, man. Well, I think that was good.
All right. Good chat. Anyway.
Well,
all right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
It's been a pleasure.
What a time.
Glad you could make it.
Thanks for listening to Serial Podcast 9.